for the best coverage of the Jazz, Utes, and Cougars is right here on The Zone. This is JJ and Alex on 97.5, the KSL Sports Zone.
Welcome in, everybody. It is, of course, JJ and Alex, 97.5, the KSL Sports Zone. Thank you for being with us on the program, everybody. We're kicking things off this hour. Jared Weiss covers the NBA for The Athletic and also dips in quite a bit with the San Antonio Spurs, if I'm not mistaken. And so, Jared, we appreciate you joining us. I love these trade deadline weeks. I'm trying to figure out if you guys as beat writers and people who cover the NBA, if you love trade week, if you love the end of the trade deadline.
You know, it's conflicting because it's the most exciting time and it's the most exhausting time. I'm not kidding. I haven't said this in a while. My thumbs are my right thumb is actually sore, and I think I need to go ice it. Just from the amount of texts and calls that I've been on, my throat hurts. Everything in my body is exhausted just because we are literally on the phone and texting nonstop.
Yeah,
it's like being a radio host in Salt Lake City.
Wow, that's but see, my voice is basically calloused over. It's been 20 years of talking for 3 hours a day, but I was looking at this and I was just thinking, it's called Woj thumb. I think that's who originated it. That was
Yep.
It's like a Liz Frank. You got the Woj thumb. Those are real injuries. So you saw this thing shake down, and here in Utah, we were particularly ear to the ground to see if Danny and Austin Ainge and Justin Zanuck would pull the trigger on something. And sure enough, a couple days before the deadline, Jazz fans were treated to quite the trade for Jaren Jackson Jr. to get here to Salt Lake City. That was a big move for them, but what does the rest of the league look at that move in bolstering this roster? Because here it's being touted as the end of the rebuild. Is it going that far? Is that going too far?
It is not the end. I don't know what y'all are talking about. This is Danny Ainge, Austin Ainge, like that. I think that they're going to see another move. There's going to be some sort of reformation here. And it's not going to happen right away. I think there's going to be, Utah's not going to leap into contention right away. Probably. Save that one. Maybe a year from now, you guys are going to be laughing at me for saying that. Who knows? But, it's going to be a process just to teach a team how to win. The fact that the playmakers on the team are kind of younger, this, it's going to take some time for this team to figure it out. But you can see, especially, if Bailey really develops the way that Keontae's developing, you've got a starting five there that's got, serious contention potential in the near future. But one of the big questions is Lauri Markkanen, when he has played, which is not that often, the numbers he's putting up are phenomenal. I just was having lunch with someone in the league today who we were just literally talking about how much of a killer Markkanen's been when he's been healthy. And so now the question is what happens when you kind of ramp him back into all right, he's not only is he playing every game, he's playing seriously, he's playing defense, he's making the decision on offense. There's going to be a period here where it takes this team to break in. And then there's going to have to be an evaluation by the front office of is this going to go in the direction we really think it's going to go, or do we need to make some other big moves? They have the assets available. They have, some young potential all-stars there. They have a lot of things they can do to change things. And also, how is this team going to work defensively? Is it just going to be unbelievable because of the length, or is there going to be some sort of disconnect between all the length they have and the ability to stay in front of the ball? So there's a lot of things they answer, but it was a good value deal. You look at how much all-star players have cost in the last few years, even fringe all-stars.
Right.
They got pretty good value there for Triple J.
Yeah, I mean, I agree with you. I don't think the Jazz are done. I think there's a lot more things that need to move, but I definitely think this was a big move in the right direction, especially with Jaren Jackson. He's supposed to be a defensive guy, so you get help there.
And Defensive Player of the Year a couple years ago.
And he can
really good.
And he can score on the offensive side of the ball. He's pretty young, so I think they're moving in the right direction. But you say it's going to take a while. You don't think that they could have a Mike Vrabel type of turnaround here? Kind of jump back into contention, kind of how they were before the Donovan Mitchell days? Keontae George is talked about as having that type of potential on this team. But is that not a thing that in the NBA where you can have a turnaround like that?
You can. I just think it takes some time to learn how to win. But I think the thing that fans often forget is that failure is a very important part of success in the NBA.
Mm-hmm.
You need to come up short a few times usually to both get the desire to understand the nuances of the postseason and just to like figure out how you need to improve to get over the top. So it's just rare that a team can go from completely out the mix, like very obviously tanking for a long time, to having that winning culture actually working right away. And we'll see how next season they put players with championship experience in the mix of like the back end of the roster to help these guys understand the nuances of winning. Like, it's a layered process, but I think the most important part of the process is, do you have the core guys in place that you think have the talent to really carry you? And I think it certainly looks like the Jazz are knocking on that door if they're not there already.
Well, I'm going to ask you one here before we cut you loose, because I know you're on the road and it's been a long week for you. But Jared, what were your thoughts on the James Harden deal to Cleveland? We're trying to convince ourselves. I'm sure Donovan Mitchell, a guy who we know pretty well here in this market, I'm sure he's trying to convince himself this is a great move. But is it ever a good move to bring James Harden to your team?
It's a great question. By the way, I think I got another 5 minutes or so before I hit the TSA line, so we should be okay here. But, they decided as a front office that they had to move off of the Darius Garland situation. And, they love Darius Garland. It's just that his toe has been an issue. His health has been an issue. And they really want to convince Donovan Mitchell to stay. And I'm sure you guys are familiar with what it's like having to do that, just being in that situation before. They really want to convince him to stay. And so they need to show him like a good playoff run this year. They need to cleanse the first half of this regular season and demonstrate that they can win, but they can at least potentially make it to the finals and keep them. And, we see this when you're a smaller market club, having a superstar player isn't just about being able to win ball games. It's also about the commercial aspect. Like, when you have one of these great marketable players, and Donovan Mitchell's a very marketable guy, he's a great guy, he's a fascinating player, he's entertaining, it allows you to sell luxury suites. It allows you to sell courtside seats. It allows you to sell brand partnerships and get sponsorship money. Like, they don't just lose the money of like ticket revenue. There's all these other lot of reasons why Cleveland really wants to keep Mitchell around. And also, I think he's a great player, and I think they could win a championship with him potentially. And so I don't know how Harden is going to fit. Harden has been a consistently great regular season player who has continuously had struggles in the postseason, or even just completely thrown in the towel in the postseason. So I really don't know what's going to happen here at the end. But listen, they needed a healthy guy, and they got one.
Yeah, so that's crazy. The NBA's been funny, this whole trade stuff. What was the most unique trade that has happened here the last couple weeks? Of course, the end of the day was a lot from Anthony Davis going to the Wizards. You got Luke Kennard going to the Lakers, and one for
maybe
me.
Maybe it's Giannis not going anywhere.
Yeah. Like, what was the most unique storyline here? I mean, for me, I Jose Alvarado for nothing pretty much there. Going to the Knicks, that's a huge asset for the Knicks that they acquired there at the end of the trade deadline.
I mean, just personally, as someone who's covering it, it was really surprising that Jeremy Sohan didn't get moved by the Spurs, just because, it seemed like an obvious one. But we won't get that one's not as exciting, so we'll get into the big ones. The biggest one that was a shocker was the Mavericks being willing to just salary dump Anthony Davis for a menial return in draft pick compensation. And just honestly, I think it's impressively bold that they were willing to do that. Because, obviously, the value that they got out of the Luka deal now is just, tragic, right? And it's officially the worst trade in NBA history, probably sports history at this point, unless we're kind of like Bill Russell back in the day. And so, for them to be willing to make that convicted of a decision because they really believe in the franchise's direction if they can move on from the situation, and just seeing the value that they got from just having peace of mind from moving on from the situation, it's just amazing to see it's worth just losing all value essentially, or most value, in a deal like that. And so that was probably the boldest move of the deadline. And it wasn't the Bucks being willing to keep Giannis, which we all knew was going to happen. They weren't. Right. They were never going to get good value for Giannis. We always knew that. Yeah. And then the other one is the Zubac deal. The draft pick that Indiana gave up, where it's top 5 protected or top 4 protected, and then 10 through 30 protected, Indiana was willing to give up a really premium pick, potentially in a premium draft, to bring this guy in, hoping that Halliburton comes back in full force and they're somehow able to get this great return from an Achilles injury and go straight back into contention. Their roster needs work even after this. they really mortgaged their future on this for a guy that's like a really good player in Zubats, but not quite like a franchise definer. So that was probably the most surprising and boldest move.
It's been pretty funny to watch. I always love the grades after draft stuff too. It's just like, well, we got to give grades. You know why? Because our grandfathers did it. They gave out trade grades back in the day. So we're just going to continue that as well. Obviously, it's always yet to be seen if somebody inside of an organization can work. Here in Utah, it's not easy to get guys to come in here with big names, but if you do it at the trade deadline. And they certainly did with Jaren Jackson Jr. So, well, we're going to cut you loose here. I know you got to get through that amazing airport line because everybody loves being at the airport, especially this time of year. Jared Weiss covers the NBA for The Athletic, and we appreciate you jumping on here, Jared, and giving us your thoughts on this week. And we'll talk to you again, man.
Thanks, guys. Take care.
There you go.
Boy, it must suck to be Nico Harrison this past year.
Somebody get a beat on him? Is there anybody heard from Nico lately? Got to check in on that guy.
Does he have a job? Because that was terrible. How do you trade Luka Doncic?
Well, I'm gonna see if I can find him on LinkedIn.
And think that Anthony Davis was. I mean, I'm a Lakers guy, and I still thought that was just
open for work.
Hashtag looking for a move or whatever you say.
Oh my gosh! You got to go to another country, start managing some international
hashtag open
teams.
for work. No, it isn't a LinkedIn deal. It's Mendoza's got the LinkedIn deal now, right? Him and Nico Harrison should start teaming up, doing some LinkedIn stuff here. Yeah, it's crazy to me that in a day where you have a guy like Nico Harrison, and then you have the Vikings general manager who made a bad deal sending Sam Darnold. But I think everybody else looks and goes, yeah, but sending Sam Darnold, especially after they lost the playoff game the way that they did,
it's not like a Luka.
It's not crazy. But the thing that was crazy about that GM were the allegations that he was looking at. Where was he getting his draft stock from? The Vikings GM? It was something fun. Oh, it was on, he'd go to Pro Football Focus and be like, what are the grades on here? Yeah, when zero work done by himself.
You literally have
He was just letting
scouts for your team.
The keyboard warriors were giving him hints on who he should draft. He's like, that's a great move. Maybe I'll do that. You're a GM in the NFL.
You're listening to
looking up Pro Football Focus grades.
Jim Harbaugh talk about freaking.
Oh my goodness.
Oh my gosh.
Well, so the NBA is funny because I think with the Jazz and the Jazz are an interesting team too because and you just heard him kind of laugh it off and go, no, rebuild's not done. I thought he was going to go, no, this team's still going to stink for a while. But the direction he went was, and this is pretty interesting, right? He goes, no, Danny Ainge and Austin Ainge, they'll have stuff up their sleeves still. I don't know what it is. I don't know when it's going to be. Obviously, it's not a trade deadline situation because it passed, but getting creative in the offseason on how to make this team even bigger, that is a total Ainge family tradition, right? Where you go, you thought that Jaren Jackson Jr. deal was pretty cool. How about I blow your mind with this one? Now, if it's not there, they don't find it and they don't get it. But if it's there, Danny Ainge will find a way. And so you went all these years. And Christian, I was telling JJ this week, you remember how much we heard the term big game hunting? Like we stopped using it. You remember that?
Yeah, we had to put a ban on it because everybody said it so much.
Everybody said it way too much. And one, because it was like, Danny probably hated that he said it. Because as soon as he said it, everyone's all, oh, so you said big game hunting, and I just want to know where this big game is coming from. And it never panned out.
Yeah.
Because timing-wise, it didn't work out. So when the Jaren Jackson Jr. thing comes up, and they go, this is what he's talking about, and he can get out from underneath that whole idea of we're just going to go out and find these big names.
Yeah.
And people obsessed over that, like, make a big trade. Go out there and make a big trade. Hey, win the lottery. It's saying go out and get a big trade is as worthless as saying, hey, just go out and win the lottery in the NBA. It doesn't work like that. And so bringing a guy in, and I was listening to Jake and Ben this week when it happened, when they kind of rolled it out. And my initial thought was, I don't know. I mean, I always wonder. Because we have this, like, Utah insecurity, right? I wonder if they're going to like it here. Or if when he traveled here, if he hated it. Did he get good enough food when he was here? Or is he going to get a cool apartment? And it's like, do you like us? We want you to like Utah. We want people to like Utah. And it was good to hear that he's a character guy. They don't make that move if he's not. You know what I mean? They don't make that move if he's not.
Right.
And so I think from a locker room building situation, all of the
I trust Ainge's assessments of guys.
All of the negative stuff that they say about Jaren Jackson, like, he doesn't rebound very much. You see his assist percentages? Second worst in the league. I'm like, oh, that's why they got him so he could really dish the ball a bunch. Like, that's not what. And by the way, the rebounding thing, you got Walker Kessler. And by the way, Kyle Filipowski is a phenomenal rebounder. Like,
Yeah, he is. Yeah, Flip is good.
so when you get guys coming in, you go, no, we're not asking him to do that. That's why his best year in Memphis as a defensive player of the year was when he played along with Steven Adams. Was when he had next to him. That's why they drafted Zach Edey, because they're like, we're not asking
Get the
Jaren.
best out of JJJ.
We're not asking Jaren Jackson Jr. to get 15 rebounds a game.
Right.
Let Zach Edey do that. You know what we want him to do? Be an absolute terror to people around the rim and to contest shots that most guys in this league
Can't do because of their size, but his athleticism plus size can on the defensive side of the ball.
It was the thing that made Rudy Gobert so good. And a lot of times it didn't show up on paper because guys, the adjustments that they had to make to try to shoot.
Defensive MVPs here.
No, I know, but I'm saying like, but even though they didn't end up as blocks sometimes, the amount of times that guys would shoot and they're like, oh, that was a terrible shot because I had to adjust so bad to this guy who's got an 8-foot wingspan. So I'm pumped about it. I think that the moves like that.
I thought it was great. I texted you. I was just like, this is good.
Now, of course it is.
This is good.
Because trade deadlines are also really good when you watch and you see teams make moves that make their teams better. And then, in contrast, you see the absolute desperation out of really crappy franchises. That's just as fun for me to watch, too. You watch these teams. You watch Washington. That Anthony Davis move.
What are you doing?
Is
Trae Young, Anthony Davis.
so dumb.
What resurgence is happening in this nation's capital?
Somebody made one of those fake cartoon movie trailers based off of this trade coming this summer. 5 years too late, and it had Anthony Davis and it had Trae Young, and Trae Young was like this miniature of a person. He's like, we're gonna go out there and beat him. He's like, yeah, maybe. Actually, I'm hurt. He's like, actually, I'm hurt. So yeah, I mean that's what it is. They're trying to capture some lightning in the bottle that hasn't been there for either of those two guys in a long time. Could it fashion itself,
of course,
at some point and come back? I don't know. Are we going to see it again? Highly doubtful. Highly doubtful. The best of what we saw out of Anthony Davis was in New Orleans, not even in L.A. And don't give me the bubble title thing. Like, I don't think he hit the best version of Anthony Davis was when he was playing in New Orleans.
Yeah.
And yeah.
And that first year or 1 or 2 years in LA, he was good those first 1 or 2 years in LA.
And then after that, he got the reputation of never being available.
He got paid, and then he just sat on his hands. Did not do nothing. I don't know. Off season was atrocious. I'm like, what are you training for, bro? You just got paid. You ain't got to do nothing. You got people build some dang strength around those things. Like, what's going on? I don't know. He pissed you off as a Lakers fan for sure. Because, you should be easily getting better, and you're not. You got 40-year-old LeBron who's training his butt off in the offseason, and you're nowhere to be found. You don't have no training videos. What are you doing? You dribbled a couple times and went to the ice tub? Just terrible. So, yeah, bad investment long-term as the Lakers extended him.
All right. We'll see, though. Again, you can give out as many draft grades. We can even talk about how great Jaren Jackson Jr. is of an add to this roster. Until we actually see if Walker Kessler is going to end up.
If it works, you got to see if it works, right?
Yeah, and I think the best version of this is obviously if they're able to get Walker back, a decent deal during the offseason, during restricted free agency. And that's not a guarantee. No. But we'll see. All right, we'll come back. When we return, we've got more, including, I think we're going to get Sam Farnsworth from
Sammy
from Old Italy. By the way, this next Wednesday is a Win Ticket Wednesday on the KSL Sports Zone. You can win tickets this week. Here's what it is. You ready?
Let's do it.
Brian Regan to the Delta Center on Valentine's Day. That's right. Clean comedy over here at Delta Center. Get your tickets today, SeatGeek.com, or you can win them all day next week as well. Okay, we'll come back. We've got more to go around the corner. Stay here, 97.5, the KSL Sports Zone.
Accessing. When TV and radio collide.
Love it.
Wow. This is what you get. You're listening to JJ and Alex.
Don't touch that dial.
On 97.5, the KSL Sports Zone.
All right, everybody, welcome back. JJ and Alex, 97.5, the KSL Sports Zone. Thanks for being with us on the program. Happy beginning of the Winter Olympic Games of 2026 in Milan Cortina. We saw Team USA along with all the other nations marching through for the opening ceremonies, all showing off their really cool outfits. That's part of the deal. It's basically the runway for how cool you look. Sam Farnsworth, KSL5 Television, of course, one of our correspondents over in Italy, joining us right now on the program. Sam, the opening ceremonies, was it all it's cracked up to be? I mean, it's basically like a fashion show, man.
It was, right? I mean, they say Milan is the fashion capital of the world, so, right, I guess. The opening ceremonies, I enjoyed it the same way everyone else did back in Utah, which was sitting on my chair in front of the TV while I was getting some work done. I mean, they don't let the press into opening ceremonies. Like maybe if you're the top of the media world, but for the most part, we are left on the outside looking in.
Man, I know NBC kind of put you up there. You just got your pass. You forgot to read that email. No. So how many Olympics is this for you? You've done the Olympics before. How many times is this for you?
Yeah, I was in Paris for the Summer Games. The last Winter Games in Beijing, I was supposed to go, and then for COVID and safety reasons, about 5 days before we were supposed to fly out, KSL decided it would be in the best interest of the company and our safety, I guess, to keep us from going. I was ready to go. My family was ready. Like, we had prepared. I tried to talk them into it. I said, no, let me go. But no. So this is number 2 for me covering it, really. When you
are covering such an event, the event itself is the thing that's the story. I mean, all the actual events, people love. We in Utah, we love, our Olympics of any kind. And yet at the same time, it's the actual it's not necessarily each individual event. It's the people that are a part of it. It's the people that are the background. Obviously, there's a lot of ties to here. What are the things that you have circled on the calendar that you're going to be looking forward to and covering? Because we're going to be chatting with you a couple times a week here.
I've got quite a bit on my calendar. In fact, today I spent too much time probably just going over the next week of things that I have on the plate. I'm going to have a lot of hockey. There's no doubt about that, both men's and women's hockey. I'm going to be in, let's see, what's today, the 6th. So right after the Super Bowl, pretty much I'm not going to be able to watch the Super Bowl because I'm going to be getting on a bus to a train and then on a bus to go all the way up to this small ski town called Livigno, northern part of Italy, where there's the freestyle skiing and the moguls, and where we just have dozens of locals competing up there. So I'll be up there for about 4 days, and then I'll get back literally straight from Livigno right to Santa Giulia Ice Arena for the United States' first men's hockey game of the Olympics. So it's going to be a busy week, and then we'll see what happens after that. I'll reassess after that for the last week and a half of the Olympics, but it's been good so far. I think the first event I really covered was yesterday. I covered the U.S. women's hockey team in their opening game, 5-1 win over Czechia. And I don't know how acquainted the listeners are with Hillary Knight. She's like the GOAT of hockey, especially women's hockey. But this is her 5th Olympic Games. There's not any other hockey player in the history of the United States who's been to 5 Olympics. She has 4 medals. She's going to get a 5th. And she lives in Utah now. She has for the last couple of years. She's been helping Alexander Kerfoot of the Mammoth out with some youth clinics specified towards young girls and helping them learn the game of hockey. And so that was really fun getting to know her yesterday.
Man, did you find a new Nona out there? We've been thinking about it over here.
I need to, man. I need to find a Nona that can cook me some good meals, dude. I don't know what the deal is with where my hotel is, but there is nothing around here. There's no restaurants.
My other question. That's it, because Italian is my favorite. What has been your favorite event thus far?
He said Italian is his favorite, but he also said that the GOAT is Olive Garden. Take it with a grain of... Take it with a massive grain of salt.
I'm not over there.
It's like very offensive to the Italian people.
This far,
Olive Garden and Macaroni Grill, close second.
Yeah, Macaroni Grill.
Hey,
May it rest. I feel like it's not
Mac Grill's great. Mac Grill's great. What's been your favorite event thus far that you've done? Not necessarily the sports events, but there's a lot of spectacles and stuff going on around there. What's been your favorite thing to do thus far?
Yeah, there definitely is a lot. For me, I mean, maybe it's just the recency, but again, just going back to yesterday's women's hockey game, that was just really fun for me to witness in person. the best female hockey players in the world on the ice. And then it was while we were in the arena. Here's a strange story. You guys probably heard about it, but we're in the arena. The women's game had just started when news broke that the next game was supposed to be Finland and Canada. The Finnish team, women's team, they had to reschedule the game for a whole week because they had a norovirus outbreak in the team. And they only had 8 players that were healthy enough to skate yesterday. As of today, they had, I think, 16 total players on the ice. They're supposed to play the United States tomorrow. Oh, so we're watching that closely. Yeah,
I mean, man, hey, man, you go to the pickup basketball in the court, man. You don't need any subs, no line changes over there. You're good.
Right, yeah, I mean, look, they're playing the giant of these games too in the United States. I'm not trying to say Finland's no good, but yeah, it's whether they have a full roster or 12 people, I think it's going to be the same outcome.
I'm one of those guys that is a sucker for, because I turn on Peacock and they have that whole like Olympics button you can press, and I was watching the Switzerland-Czechia game in women's hockey today, and I was like, oh, and it was a shootout, and I think they had to go to like 10 different rounds before finally Switzerland won, and they'd come back. And I was just like getting some chills, and I'm going, I wouldn't care one thing about this game except for it's the Olympics. And that kind of brings that different tone there. Today, Lindsey Vonn has been kind of going at people on social media saying, hey, I'm not faking the ACL injury. It turns out that it is 100% blown.
People say they were faking it?
Oh, they're saying they're trying to make it dramatic and stuff like that. I'm like, is it not dramatic enough that she's 41 and is doing this? What are the chances that she does medal? I know that let's assume that her injuries are easily overcomable, I guess, just for this temporary time before she gets back to the States and has surgery. Where is she on the list of? Because I know she had a tremendous World Cup season. She still looks exceptional, but like this is a young person's sport. I feel like all these sports are young people's sports.
Look, I think in the downhill, it's all about speed, right? Mm-hmm. And if you can go fast, which she can, you got a chance to win, but you got to hold those turns. And that's where I'm curious to see where the knee comes into play. She looks great. She had a practice run today. I saw that practice run, and there's a couple of times where look, I'm no expert, but it kind of looked like maybe she was kind of trying to be soft and gentle with the knee, where she kind of cut loose a little bit on some of the turns. And her time wasn't great. Again, it was just a practice run. It was her first time skiing since she blew her ACL. So, but there's no doubt about it. This is the story of the Olympics right now. And it may be the story of the Olympics for this entire stay here, especially if she ends up on the podium. I think she had a great chance to finish on the podium prior to her injury. With the injury, I still think there's a chance, but it's going to be one of those amazing Cinderella stories that they'll make a movie about in 20 years if she does get the medal, right? So no matter what happens, the world is going to be watching, because everyone wants to see not only what this 41-year-old who retired and came back and, it has been successful in the World Cup season to now being injured. Everyone wants to see what she's able to do.
Well, I mean, I'd love to see another Molly's game, down the road. Hopefully Lindsey Vonn can make a movie about that. No, man. Are you into curling? I've watched curling in the last few Olympics, and I'm like, there's a lot of excitement around that. I'm getting in it from behind the TV set. But are you into curling?
Dude, I'm telling you, like, I learn a little bit more about it every year. And this year, before we left, they actually had us all go out and do like a curling session and kind of get coached through it and stuff. But now you watch it and you understand the strategies a little bit more. And it's like when you finally understand darts and you watch the British people play darts and everyone going crazy. It's like, okay, I can see maybe why they're excited about it. But curling, And you know what's fun about it this year? I think, like, to me, when I think of curling, I close my eyes. I think of curling. I think of people who are in their 40s, still out at the Olympics curling, right? But this year, and I can't remember their names, but they're doing the mixed doubles right now. It's already begun. And the United States has this young couple, this young mixed doubles group that are probably in their 20s or something, and they're out there dominating. I don't think they've lost yet. I think they
beat Canada
6-0
today, right?
or something.
Yeah.
Yeah, and I'm like, holy cow. The United States,
We're doing it.
Freebird, right? They play the song Freebird whenever the U.S. scores a goal in hockey. That's their goal song. I'm like, man, they should play that at the curling too. I don't know what's our anthem at the Olympics, but I'm telling you, the curling thing, it's going to catch the U.S. by storm if they finish on the podium.
Well, and it helps it. Because we've had some successful curling outfits that have come in, and then there's the added element of, I think these guys learned it when they were half drunk in Wisconsin at a bar, and they just got to be Olympians after that. Obviously, that's quite a stretch, but at the same time, it feels like one of those events where you go, oh, why does that guy look like me? Like, now they're very flexible, because I also couldn't bend over like that while they're sliding to send that rock down. But man, I look at some of the things that the Olympics stand for and how much fun this is going to be. And you've covered Super Bowls and you've done Olympics. I know the Olympics is a different beast because you're there for 3 weeks to cover the thing. But in terms of height of covering stuff in a sports career, where do those two things land?
Oh, man, this is a tough one. They're both immediately at the top, right? But I'm also one of those people who've said, you put me in a high school gym with 500 people that are very into it and excited about it, and I'll still get chills, like being in a good atmosphere. I don't care what the event is, what it is, and I'll be like, this is the greatest thing in the world, right in that moment. I get that. I'm lucky enough to say I get to experience that often in my career, where I just feel like this is just an amazing moment that I don't want to forget. But there's no doubt about it, the Super Bowl, especially covering it for a fan base as passionate as the Broncos. I think there's something different about covering it when you go for your affiliate, kind of like what we do at KSL when it's just the NBC, or when you go and cover the team that you're actually there for, right? That you're delivering it to their fan base. So those Broncos Super Bowls were something pretty good. But tell you what, there's something about the Olympics too, especially back in Salt Lake, that people, they just love it. They eat it up. They get bit by the bug every 2 years, whether it's winter or summer games. Like you just said, Alex, you're watching, you're suddenly getting caught up. That's one of the great things about the Olympics. It doesn't matter what the competition is. We all get into it, and we all start, cheering for our country to win, no matter what the competition.
Yeah. And my kids get into it. It's a whole thing, man. It's awesome. You turn it on. There's a reason why Salt Lake is like the best Olympics market in this country, because we just we're suckers for competition, and if the flag starts waving at the end of it and tears start rolling down the cheeks of these athletes, it's even better. So
it's like the 4th of July.
Yeah,
all over again.
So from the let's go back to the hockey thing real quick, because I know Team USA is as highly ranked as they've ever been, and they're having quite a streak of playing some of their most exceptional international hockey. Of course, they won. I'm trying to think. So here in Salt Lake, Canada won gold. Yes, and
yes,
yeah. So that was.
Do you remember they took like a Canadian dollar?
Oh, yeah.
Put it on the floor, and they had the ice frozen over. So at mid ice of the East Center, the Maverick Center, they had like a Canadian dollar under the ice for the Olympics. I don't know who they knew to get them to do that for them, but Canada won those games. But
I'm trying to figure out if Team USA really does have a shot. I know we have one of the more talented teams, and we're pretty high up there in the rankings. I was kind of going through the IAH rankings throughout the year, and it's been Canada, U.S., Russia a little bit, but obviously Russia's not there. It's been a lot of these teams across the board, but this is as good as Team USA's ever been. Now, the women's team is phenomenal, and it's always a battle. Canada and U.S. are always right there. But what does Team USA have a shot at when it comes to medaling and maybe even getting at the very, very top of the podium?
Well, I think the expectation should be to medal. There's no doubt about that. I think they've got a legit shot at finishing on the podium. This team is talented. Just go back to the Four Nations last year, right? This is going to be pretty close to that because the rosters aren't that far separated from what we saw at the Four Nations. Mm-hmm. And if I remember correctly, that went to overtime to determine the champion. You're just a couple of bad bounces away of the puck, a couple of saves of the puck away from the U.S. winning that tournament. They haven't won a gold since that Miracle on Ice team in 1980. They won their first world championship last summer with Clayton Keller for the first time in 92 years. So the U.S. isn't a team that people expect to win it all, but they are a team that everyone expects to be right there in the Final Four, right? Finland's going to be great. Czechia is going to be solid. Sweden's going to be amazing. And then, of course, you have Canada, who's just downright dominant, although their goaltending
went down, man.
Keep an eye on that. Keep an eye on that. If the U.S. can get into a shootout with Canada, they might have a shot. So, but I think the U.S. I think it's reasonable to expect them to medal.
Sam, real quick, because I can't let you loose here on our pre-Super Bowl show without making you think a little bit about what really butters our bread here in Salt Lake, and that is American football. Seahawks versus the Patriots. Tell me your thoughts. Who wins this one? Give me good news here, brother.
Look. If the Broncos were in it.
See, I was hoping to go this close without having to hear it, but I know you can't.
No, look. I'm going. When it comes to the NFL playoffs, I'm more of a recency guy. I go with the teams that are cooking, that are looking good, that are kind of rolling into the Super Bowl, and I feel like that's the Seahawks. And I don't think it's even going to be close. Ooh. So, Debbie Worthen, she's out there covering the Super Bowl for KSL TV with JJ as well. She asked for all of our Super Bowl predictions, and I gave it to her yesterday. It was just the first thing that came to my mind. I spat it out, and I think it's Seahawks 34, Patriots 10. Mark it up. I don't think it's going to be close. I don't think it's going to be close.
Wow.
I can't I can't resign myself to believe you. Just because I just don't know. I know how this game goes sometimes. So.
Look, I don't know what it is with Sam Darnold, but
I know.
He's going to win himself a Super Bowl and be a hero in Seattle for the rest of his life, and he'll probably stink the rest of his career after this year. But, man, this year he's been amazing, hasn't he?
All you need is that 1 year. Get that gold jacket.
Gold,
green jacket, gold jacket.
Let me see here. Sam, we're going to be dipping in, of course, a couple times a week here with you. So
sure.
keep us on speed dial. And, hey, enjoy the all-you-can-eat soup, salad, and breadsticks while you're out there.
Yes.
You and I can delicious. Go to the OG when you get back and taste the difference.
All right. Sam, we appreciate it, man. I know it's late for you, so thanks for staying up late with us, man.
Yeah, thanks, guys. We'll see you.
Yeah. All right, there you go. Sam Farnsworth.
What do you think is the most popular Olympic game? What is the 100-meter dash of the Winter Games?
I have a very, very, very interesting top 10 list that will answer all of those questions when we come back.
Oh,
how fortuitous of us. Okay, We'll take a break. We'll come back with the top 10 around the corner. It's Olympic-based. Stay here, 97.5 the KSL Sports Zone. Don't cheat.
Ladies and gentlemen.
You're locked into JJ and Alex. With the insight and analysis on the teams you can't live without. This is 97.5, the KSL Sports Zone.
Welcome back, everybody. JJ and Alex, 97.5, the KSL Sports Zone. You heard Dylan Gunther talking about Veggie, how big of a deal he is. Of course, Karel Vemelka is going over to play for his home country. JJ Peterka is going over to play for his home country, Germany. Finland, of course, for Olli Mata. Team USA for good old Clayton Keller, of course. Am I missing anybody else? I think that's everybody, right? I might be missing somebody.
I think that's it.
I think I got everybody. Did you see what Nick Schmaltz said about this whole thing? He goes, oh, yeah, look, I mean, great, awesome. I love all these guys on my team. But when the Olympics start for these next 2 weeks, it's all Team USA for me. I hope all the other guys on our team going to play for all their other countries can pound sand. He said it. That's what he said. They can pound sand. I go, that right there, that's the edge. I love it.
Oh, yeah.
Screw you guys. You're gonna take our gold medal away from us, man.
Hey, man, I'd like to come back to my locker room and brag. So.
You know what's funny is like, have you seen the John Hamm Team USA hockey commercials too? Like they're pushing hard, and they're all based around Team USA and this Team USA Team Canada rivalry. So I love it. All right, we're gonna dip in with Sam Farnsworth in just a little, or not Sam Farnsworth, the other KSL 5 sports host, and also my co-host on this program, Jeremiah Jensen, who's out in Santa Clara, California. We'll talk to him next hour. But first, I have an Olympic-themed top 10. You have the 60-second timer over there, Christian. You're also allowed to participate if you feel so inclined. and I've got to make sure I can find my list again here because I was.
Don't cheat. Don't cheat.
As soon as
Come
I
on,
brought up what the thing was, he was like, "Oh, that's crazy!" Starts clickety clacking. One time, Sam Farnsworth, by the way, just straight up cheated. He was like, he's like looking at his computer screen. He's like, the 49ers. And I'm like, what are you looking at? He goes, what? I'm like, freaking cheater. You're like the clean as a whistle guy here at the station, and then you cheat as soon as you get the chance. The top 10 Olympic sports by TV ratings.
Oh, see, that was my question.
He wanted to know which one was this. So you've got 60 seconds on the clock. Both of you can make your guesses.
Just winter, just
Just
summer,
winter,
or all of
just
them?
winter. Because I will just tell you, summer dominates.
Oh,
Right.
yeah.
Summer dominates.
Summer's
This is
incredible.
winter specific. I have all top 10 of the most popular by TV ratings sports that people watch in the Winter Olympics. On your mark, get set, go.
Hockey,
Ding,
snowboard, half pipe,
ding,
downhill skiing,
ding,
bobsledding, cool runnings.
ding.
Come on, Irv Blitzer. Irv Blitzer. No, there's no ping pong and hockey.
Speed skating.
What is it?
Speed skating, short track,
Ding,
long track. Oh, figure skating. Michelle Kwan, baby.
ding.
What else do we got here?
What's the ski jump?
Ding.
I said bobsledding already.
You did.
Luging. What is the curling? I just said
Skeleton.
curling.
Wait, what did you say?
Skeleton.
Ding.
Skeleton crew. Okay. Snowboard, downhill skiing.
Slalom.
What?
That's part of alpine skiing. But
Okay, my bad.
All right. Shoot.
Ooh, we're getting there. I can feel it.
Oh yeah.
I feel my
it's hurt-
bones.
it's
The time's
hurting
about to be
me.
up here.
Where's it at? This is a great 60 seconds. I love it.
Time's up. You guys I think you got
8, right?
or 9. Number 1, figure skating. Number 2, snowboarding. Number 3, alpine skiing. That's the races. Hockey's 4. This one, I'll give it to you because I wouldn't have thought it was in its own category. But
Lugging.
freestyle skiing, that's the one where they're doing the tricks and stuff.
You ever play the game
Number
Ski
6.
Free? Ski Free back in the
Oh,
day?
yeah, of course.
Ski Free was my game, man.
On the old school, like on the Motorola phone.
Yeah,
Like looking at it and going, ski
yeah.
free. Speed skating, you guys got it. Ski jumping, you guys got it. Bobsled, you got. Skeleton, you got. You missed number 10. Just number 10. Curling. Should have brought
I
it
said
up.
curling.
Oh, did he?
Sly said curling
You
at
did?
the same time I said something. Yeah.
Okay, so I didn't hear it because you guys both. Okay.
Oh, don't you dare. You heard me.
He cheated. He cheated. I have it on
No,
I have it on
didn't.
video. I got it on video.
I just talked to Sam about curling. I had to ask.
I know. That's what I was wondering. I was like, you got to mention the curling. Okay. Want to mention before we get out here.
Ping pong, that should have been on there. I don't know what the heck's going on.
My Hearing Center is going to be hosting Scotty on Tuesday from noon to 3. My Hearing Centers is located at 8941 South and 7th East in Sandy. Go join Scotty and friends right there, noon to 3 on Tuesday. We'll take the break. We'll come back. Jeremiah Jensen, we're anticipating having a conversation with him when we come back. He is in Santa Clara for the Super Bowl. Stay here, 97.5 The KSL Sports Zone.